Hello everyone, myself Karthikeyan, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Processing Technology from Amit University. So today we are going to discuss about the topic antioxidant and its mechanisms. So we all know about antioxidant, right? Antioxidants are more familiar nowadays, right? So what is meant by antioxidant? Antioxidant, if you want mean generally means antioxidant is a substance or a compound which prevents the other substance to getting oxidation, right? So if you want to be more technically, means nothing but antioxidant is a compound which has the ability to donate an electron or to repair a free radical into a stable free radical, right? Okay. So there are a lot of types in that. Generally, there are two types. One is natural. Generally, antioxidant is classified into two types. One is a natural based one, another one is synthetic or artificial based one. So if you are looking for a natural based one, so natural based one has lot of subdivision. So namely, first one is enzymatic based antioxidant. Second one is our dietary antioxidant, which we are taking from our diet or food. The third one is metal binding protein, which already presents in our body. Okay. If you want to look at artificial means, that is a BHT, BHQ, and lot are available in that. Okay. Now we are talking about the oxidation. Why antioxidant is needed? Antioxidant is needed to quench the free radicals, right? The free radicals are generated by means of oxidative stress, and these are all the lot of some sort of oxidative stress which I have mentioned here, starting from the pollution or a smoke or a lot of exercise or by means of consumption of alcohol, etc. By these means, our body is experiencing the oxidative stress. Due to this, lot of free radical are being segregated in our day-to-day life. So how to quench this free radical? So this can be done by antioxidant mechanism. So before going to antioxidant mechanism, I just want to explain about the oxidation role. So how oxygen is getting oxidized generally. So we can see that. So oxygen is a molecule which contains two free radical in it, which means it has a biradical which is in the same direction. Usually molecules will be in the opposite direction in order to get pair. This is why under normal condition oxygen is not that much reactive. If in case the oxygen has been irradiated or by means of oxygen exposed to under any high temperature or pressure, then oxygen will tends to react. For the best example is we are matching the lights, right, with the matchbox. What actually happening there is when we are matching with the strike, what happening is due to friction a little bit of amount of heat will be formed, right? So what in the atmosphere we are having 20% of oxygen. So what actually happened? So due to that form of heat, due to the friction heat, the oxygen is also there. That's why we are getting that fire spark. So on that term we will call it as singlet oxygen. And this is the primary form of free radicals, right? And this one way. So how our body is diionizing the oxygen for various metabolic function, we can see that. Since this has a same direction directed free radical, it is quite possible in a normal condition to get react with the other molecules. So if it has been oxygen has been irradiated, what will happen if one electron has been added? Then this oxygen will be turns to superoxide, and this dot indicates free radical. Okay, this is what we call as superoxide. Then if it is further we add any more of electron, what will happen? Then this superoxide will turns to peroxide. Generally, peroxide is not comes under free radical, because at normal condition peroxide doesn't produce any sort of harmful to our system. But in case where superoxide is also a primary free radical, which we will call it as a ROS, which means reactive oxygen species. Reactive oxygen species is nothing but the free radical which are formed due to the oxidation process, that we will call it as reactive oxygen species. Okay. So come back to this. So now if we add another electron to the peroxide, in general peroxide is not that much harmful. If in case it react with one electron, then it will form OH. This is the secondary free radical, and this we will call it as hydroxyl radical. Which is highly reactive one among the all, right? Okay. What in case if you add directly 2 electron? One second. If we add 2 electron, what will happen? Since I said peroxide is not that much harmful, when the 2 electron is directly being reacted with peroxide, then we will get 2 molecules of water. This is generally. So what the superoxide will do, if the superoxide is reacted with 4 number of proton, sorry, if the peroxide, I am writing here, okay, the peroxide structure is 2 minus, right? This is the structure of peroxide. So what will happen if the peroxide is exposed with 4 proton, then it will lead to another free radical, which we will call it as hydrogen peroxide. This is also harmful when comparatively to superoxide. This is highly reactive, but we are in generally in our body itself we are having a stable free radicals. So what we will call it as is, we will call it that as one second, we will call it as a transition metal ions, which means the transition metal ion is, for example, copper, zinc, magnesium or manganese, which are available in our body, will tends to react with the hydrogen peroxide and turns this hydrogen peroxide in presence of transition metal ion. Hydrogen peroxide is converted into hydroxyl radical. This is the ultimate free radical which has highly reactive activity, right? So other than reactive oxygen species, we are also having some other free radical which will be okay, that we will call it as reactive nitrogen species, which means when the nitroxide is being reacted, nitroxide radical, and the nitroxide radical is reacted in presence of superoxide, which means O2 minus dot, then we will experience this peroxide nitroxide. This is also highly reactive one. These are the free radical mechanism. So now we are going to see about, okay, this is the role of, or this is the way how the free radical will be formed in our body, right? Okay. So how it can be quenched or scavenged by means of antioxidant is, now we are going to look out for, as I said earlier, we are having 3 enzymatic antioxidants, right? So the first one is, we will call it as SOD, which means superoxide dismutase, and the second one we will call it as catalase enzyme, and the third one is glutathione peroxide. peroxide. These are the enzymatic antioxidant. Okay. These are the enzymatic antioxidants. Now we are going to see how these molecules go and dismutate these free radicals. So once the superoxide get formed in our body, what will happen is the SOD will be present in the mitochondrial section. So this directly go and react with the superoxide and turn this superoxide directly into hydrogen peroxide, which means O2 is directly turns to hydrogen peroxide by means of SOD. The name itself we can able to recognize that superoxide dismutate. Dismutate is nothing but repairing this, right? Okay. So this hydrogen peroxide which we are getting from here, this can be dismutated or this can be turned to stable form by means of two enzymes that we will call it as catalase and then glutathione peroxide. This cat enzyme, what will do? It will directly turns the hydrogen peroxide into O2 plus half molecules of water, right? The same here, and this directly converts to 2 molecules of water. This is how these free radicals in our day-to-day life we are facing a lot of free radical formation in our body, and that has been easily or that has been scavenged by means of this basic enzymatic antioxidant. The same thing happening in the lipid mechanism also, because these radicals have the ability to react with our cells or DNA or carbohydrate or lipid or protein. It directly go and react with those proteins or lipids, and it will directly damage that and turns them into the free radical, and this is what we will call it as lipid oxidation. The same thing will be happen here. Okay, the same thing is going to happen in the lipid oxidation mechanism also. So what actually happening is, this is what the lipid oxidation mechanism, so you can focus on that. Okay, the first, the LH means the substrate molecule, whatever it may be, whatever lipid it may be. So it directly react with the another free radical. The R star indicates the free radical compound. So after reacting this, we can able to find out that our lipid molecule turns to that highly reactive allyl radical. This is the formation of lipid radicals this is the formation of lipids into free radicals. The second step is propagation. Here also you can see the free radical which formed from the initiation step, it directly go and react with oxygen and it leads to the formation of hydrogen peroxide. This lipid hydroperoxide can be scavenged by means of this cat enzyme or by means of glutathione peroxidase enzyme, right? Okay, after that we can see this is the primary antioxidant and this is the role of antioxidant, and we can see how the antioxidants is getting scavenged these free molecules by means of donating a pair of electrons. So you can see that the L star is a highly reactive compound, it's reacting with the antioxidants. So the hydrogen or one electron has been donated to this, and this finally all the molecules, all the free radical molecules get stabilized. The A star is, we will call those things as a stable free radical. It will not generate the another free radical or this, it will again go and react with some other free radical and turns them into the normal stable free one, and this is the mechanism of lipid oxidation. Sorry. Okay, these things we have been already talked only. Okay, as I said, we are having enzymatic antioxidant like SOD. Again I am just recalling that superoxide dismutase, which goes and directly react with the superoxide and turns this superoxide into hydrogen peroxides, right? The second one is glutathione peroxide, which is present in the cytoplasm and almost in the every human tissue, extracellular region. And what the role of this glutathione peroxide is the hydrogen peroxide which has been formed after reacting with the superoxide or superoxide dismutation process. This free radical will be scavenged by means of glutathione peroxide as well as the cat enzyme and turns this to oxygen and the off molecules of water. Okay. This is a research which has been done by Bayonneau, France. What they have found out is they find out the SOD enzymes in the cantaloupe melon, because we all know that SOD is a primary level of enzymatic antioxidant which has a high activity against to quench the free radicals. Okay. So, one SOD neutralizes the 100 amount of free radical molecules in our body in day-to-day life. This is the secondary oxidant mechanisms, which I already talked about. The dietary antioxidant is called it as secondary antioxidants. So, the vitamin E or vitamin C is going to be taken from our diet. The richest source of vitamin C, we already know that is amla, right? Okay. So, how this is going to be react is when the vitamin E is going to be react with that OH free radicals, which means hydroxyl free radical. What is going to happen is this turns this hydroxyl radical, which is highly reactive radical, has been converted to water molecules by means of vitamin E compound, right? The same thing is going to be happen by vitamin C also. The vitamin C is going to react with the some other molecules, the secondary free radicals, and turns them into a stable free radicals. See here we can find this OH molecules. Here we can find 2 hydrogen molecules. This has been stable form and this is the unstable form, that's why we are calling this as a free radical. These are all the food source of antioxidants. The beta carotene have been highly founded in green vegetables, mangoes, pumpkins. We can get beta carotene. The vitamin A, we all know that vitamin A is highly present in milk fat, egg yolk, etc. and the fortified vanaspati also. Nowadays, lot of food products are fortified by means of lot of vitamins. Even we are getting vitamin D enriched milk packets nowadays. Vitamin C, we already know, rather than orange, lemon, we are also the highest amount of vitamin C is in the amla. So, vitamin E from the oil seeds, selenium and zinc, we will call it as a transition metal ions, which has been segregated by body also, and also we can take it from the dietary supplement too. Okay, these are the things. And this is the determination activity, how we can determine the antioxidant activity of any compound or any source or a plant material. So, what we can do is, we can do this test, we will call it as DPPH, which is 2,2 diphenyl picryl hydrazide. So, this assay we can find out that how much scavenging activity a particular plant or a fruit or anything which can have, right? Okay. So far we have seen that what are antioxidants and what are the mechanism of antioxidants in the oxidation role. So, we have talked about antioxidant. Antioxidants are molecules which go and scavenge the free radicals which is formed due to oxidative stress in our body in day-to-day life. So, generally rather than artificial antioxidants, we are having lot of natural source of antioxidants available in our dietary as well as in our body also. The body can generate SOD enzymes which have the antioxidant activity. That is the primary one. The SOD means superoxide dismutase, followed by we are having catalase enzyme and then glutathione peroxide enzyme. The glutathione peroxide enzyme and catalase have a higher activity in scavenging the hydrogen peroxide free radical alone, and the SOD will go and dismutase the superoxide free radicals. So, then we have talked about lipid metabolism, lipid oxidation metabolism. We have seen how the antioxidant molecules go and entraps the free radicals, how it donates or accept or donate a electron to make the free radical into a stable free radical. And then we have seen what are the food source available of antioxidants or antioxidant rich food source we have seen. And then we have seen the determination activity by means of DPPH assay methods. Thank you.